Military culture, that is kind of the quintessential way to show your patriotism and being American. But was I born and raised in America? And I think they just need to be seen. Like, I think they just need to be recognized, not to go under this radar of blending in, because I learned to be a chameleon. But is that the best way to be a chameleon? Because if you are a chameleon, there's a cost there, and that is you kind of lose this sense of identity. So how do we build constancy with these children?
Were there any things that made the moves easier, or were that were the same from stop to stop?
Yes. So okay. So you're asking yourself, what's your identity, right? Because culture, because country culture, state culture is like its own thing that you're not sure you're part of. However, the one thing the military did get right very well is that there's a military culture. There's a very distinctive military culture. The structures that are in place, the way the military bases are set up. Military bases are set up pretty similarly. Like, you don't get lost very easily. It's really interesting. And then even like, you know, there's a commissary everywhere you go, right? Like there's the PX or the BX. Sometimes they use BX or PX. And you have to learn.
They all look like World War II refugee camps.
You could.
No, I think in recent years they're improving a little bit.
You could definitely argue that that it's a very clear,
old wood structures,
objectively labeled as a military base. Like there were military reasons or uses prior to what we end up going in and using it as now, right? Like,
it used to be a battalion headquarters, right? The wall here, all right, that's your half of the duplex.
Yeah. And I remember one of our locations, we lived in an apartment building, but it was really like we have a stairwell, we all have a stairwell, and then just like multiple families living in there. And I think I remember driving back at one point, again, as I was a little older, and I just couldn't believe like how it was kind of set up in a way. Like, I was like, whoa, we lived in that. And then nothing bad, but still was like, oh, wow. You know, I feel like I want to make another trip, but a lot of the bases that I was raised in, they're no longer there. Even like, so the DODEA schools in Germany, I loved like Darmstadt, and the school that I was at there. I remember the teachers. I remember every single name of my first grade teacher, of all of my elementary teachers. I remember all of their names, even though I moved all the time. But that was something that helped me, like, feel like there was some consistency, right? Like you can know that you're going to have a new grade teacher.
Oh, were the DODEA teachers like American transplants?
They were, yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time, I don't remember having people that were like having
so
accents.
Not necessarily like a German national who came on base to teach.
If they did, it was to teach German.
Okay.
So yes, and so the assumption also is that they're
really like living on a base. You're like in a little cocoon of America.
Yes.
Even though
you're
in another land.
Yes. And I thanks to my parents that they exposed me so much whenever they could outside of the military base, which allows me to kind of feel connected and identify, right? We made friends with like some of the locals there. My godfather is German. He's like full German. And he did marry a Filipina. And so I have a god brother that's in Germany, and he's half Filipino, half German. And like we would go there all the time to their beautiful town in Bensheim, and there's just it was not a military
Elvis,
setting.
right?
What was that?
Elvis? Is that? Melvin.
Yeah. But it was like non-military setting, so we'd be able to like dip in and out of military culture and German culture. We dip in and out all the time, and I like developed that fluidity to be able to do that. So when we had to do that in Hawaii, it was like, oh, okay, I'll take that on too. And so I did, right? But now, like when you ask me like, where am I from? I'm in a part of my life before I was like, okay, I'm just from Hawaii. I stopped saying I was from Germany because I didn't think people would get it. But now I'm in a place where I'm trying to own more of that now. And I'm allowing myself to say I'm from both of these places. I'm from Germany and Hawaii. And just because somebody asks, do I speak the language? And I say no, I have to internally tell myself, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a sense of belonging there. Like, it doesn't mean that I don't have that there for me. And But definitely every situation, there's a quick jogging of who and where am I saying I'm from today. And that's
Are you
not
American?
left. That's not left. Oh, that's a good one. Yes, I am, right? Because military culture, like that is like kind of the quintessential way to show your patriotism
Yeah.
and being American, right? But was I born and raised in America?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
interesting. I mean,
So,
absolutely are, but
but
you're not
a forward
like
operating base of America?
but when you say
Like-
where you from, like you're not from America, and then Hawaii is,
And Hawaii is its own
yes, it's America,
little
but
culture. It
it's
is
a
not.
completely different
I mean, I have
kind of
people
own.
sometimes ask me like they don't even know Hawaii is a state. You know, like
Right,
that's
yeah.
how
Yep,
different Hawaii is from other
yeah.
people. And but I didn't get to the mainland until I was age 18.
So you're American from
That whole
birth, your
time.
entire life,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't get to the mainland
Yeah.
until you're 18,
Yeah.
19.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And all those other little nuances of what it means to be here and cultures and like the structures and oh my God, I felt terrible. I knew nothing about politics. Didn't really pay attention to, again, to American history. Like when people would make references to things, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'd feel stupid. I'd feel dumb. Like I'd feel like I really didn't know. And it's partially true, you know? And so now there's a lot of catching up that happens so that I can really feel like I'm more here. But there is a sense of like not really being from anywhere.
What do we share with other military families who are raising kids who are getting dragged around?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What can you tell those kids right now?
As you asked that, I'm remembering another assignment I had in Hawaii working with military children as a counselor, and we'd have groups. And the school knew, because it was like a non-military kind of school, but the school knew that these kids were struggling with having mom or dad move again. Somebody's getting deployed. A parent has died, you know? And so you've got these kids who are like 6 or 7, 8, having to really like wrestle through some really big questions. And I felt so much like I resonate so much with those children. And like, I think they just need to be seen. Like, I think they just need to be like recognized, like not to go under this radar of like blending in, because I learned to be a chameleon. But is that the best way, you know, to be a chameleon? Because if you are a chameleon, there's a cost there. There's a cost there, and that is you kind of lose this sense of identity. So how do we build some constancy with these children? And also just knowing that they're, because you can't reassure them and tell them truth. Don't worry, that's not going to happen again. You can't do that. You can't say you're not going to move again. That's not fair, right? But like letting them know about that strength, that they're able to do that, and just seeing them, just they need to be seen and noticed for those things. And as a military child, there's not a lot of voices that are going to be out there right now because you're a child, and there's some ethical concerns about trying to get children's perspectives. And so I'm very grateful that I can, as an adult, represent and know that I played that role at some point in my life as a military child, and can say to you, like, you did experience that. You know, you did experience that unknowing. You did experience feeling lost for a long time. And that wasn't just you who couldn't handle it, right? That's like big world stuff put on you at a very young age, and that you're having to navigate through. And yes, sometimes your parents are too busy to really like address the elephant in the room about that, especially after you move and you no longer have your friends anymore. Like, we can't say we have childhood friends. Like, you get that. You probably know that. And so that did happen to you. And if you find yourself asking where you're from and you don't have the answer to that, or if that fluctuates, then that's normal and that's okay. And it's okay to not know the answer to that. Seeing if you can find some ways, areas of your life that you can really resonate with and connect with and identify with, and then own that in that period of your life when it feels right to you.